Welcome, everybody. It's so nice to see or not see all of you, but just by your presence of being logged on, it's uplifting. So let's begin. Cross the shins, one in front of the other. Pick whichever shin you like the least and put that one in front. I don't know why you would like one more or less, but just do the one you don't like, you have the less emotional happiness about. Press your hands on your thighs, lift the spine up. Take that deep breath, drop the shoulders. Another deep breath in. Back ribs in as you exhale, stretch the side rib forward, pick your front ribs up. Shoulders relaxed. Head up, chin back. Hands in your lap or on your thighs, whatever's comfortable. Let your eyes close for a moment or two. And just see what silence is like for you when I stop talking. What is it like for you just to sit in quiet? Doing something, but that something is asking for quiet. See what comes up for you. The challenges, the fears, or whatever. How much work you actually have to put into being still. How much energy we expend in everything we do. So a few breaths. And so with keeping your eyes closed, become aware of what wants to draw you away from that silence. Where does your body want you to spend your energy, your time, your mental prowess, or physical prowess instead of just being here in your moment? Does your mind wander to video games or outside or your pets, music or distractions? Or something you can't identify and you have to actively tell yourself to know, just be here. And as each thing comes up, because there's usually more than one, when you exhale, set it aside and give yourself permission, regardless of the mental or emotional attachments to that thing, to know that you can do it later. You can listen to it, hear it, participate in it in a little while. But ask that part of yourself that brought you here now, the part of yourself that made you log in, get on your yoga mat, and sit in the pose. Ask that part what it needs and what it wants. What do you need or want from this time? Because all the other things that your mind or body want to go do, it's very clear, usually. But what do you need from being here? And once you know what that is, what you need for being here, from being here in this moment. Hold on to that. Because remember, when you walk into a yoga studio, most good teachers will only ask, do you have any injuries or issues? Do you have any pain? Do you have any conflicts with the poses? We don't ask what you want. At least I don't. Because it is impossible for any teacher to give you exactly what you want. But it is possible for teachers to give you yoga, to teach you the poses so you can ultimately give yourself what you want. The combination of poses or how often you need to do it and everything, that's more or less going to be up to you. But if you're looking for happiness or balance or those things that are very deeply internal, very personal things to you, health, that's something you've got to give to yourself. I'm just preaching to the choir because you're all here. You're on the mat. You're doing it. But when you're going through the poses tonight, regardless of how easy or hard they may seem to you, always go back to that thing that brought you here, what it's asking for, and ask yourself, am I giving that to myself in these poses? Am I learning to give myself that in each moment? Because we're taught, I think I was, some of you might have been from an early age, to do what others want, to feel bad if we don't give people what they want or ask for, whether through guilt or through kindness. Today, this moment, those are not the way of the teachings that are to be practiced. Today is about you giving you what you want, as every moment can be when you take time to renew yourself, whether on the yoga mat, reading a book, or whatnot. So hold firmly that thing that you're here for, my friends. But in one hand and in the other, hold nothing. Because even though we all might have an idea of what we're here for, new things always appear. We find so many things along the way, the journey to what we want, that may end up being more beautiful or more meaningful. So in one hand, hold what you need. The other hand, hold nothing. And leave space for receptiveness to whatever is offered from something greater than our own imaginations or moments. Bring the palms together to the chest, thumbs touching the sternum. Chin still lifted. We'll om shortly 3 times and we'll begin. Take a nice deep breath in. Om. Flex your feet. Back ribs in, severed forward, front rib up, shoulders down. Bow your head for a moment. Salute the essence of yoga inside yourself. Bring your hands into your lap. Let your head rise. And your eyes open. All right. I don't think anyone snuck off or snuck in while we were in the midst of it. So I don't. Again, if I missed you for some reason, hi. Welcome. Hi, Barb. You did sneak in. It's good to see you. All right. My dog has very clear opinions about my oming. Thanks, buddy. Stand on up. Let's do some work. I would like for you tonight to have a chair, and that can be a bar stool even, or a folding chair, or a dining room table chair. So take a minute and go get those and set them on your mat. Do some nice hip, leg work, right? You know, that's how a lot of classes are described, and it's something that I've tried to break a habit of, is saying, oh, this is what the class is going to work on. Ultimately, those are just parts that are moved in the poses. What ultimately gets worked on is up to you. That's your power. That's your right to get out of this what you need. So with the chair on the end of your mat, I'll give you another 10 seconds. If you've already got your chair, congratulate yourselves for being faster or having more stuff clutter your house like I do. A few more seconds. 3, 2, Tristan's back. Great. So you're going to put the chair on the end of your mat, turn and face the chair, and place both hands on the seat of the chair, please. So if you're using a tall bar stool, you can put your hands down on the lower rungs. That's okay. or grab the legs. Just start here in the most basic form of Uttanasana. Doesn't have to be intense to give you something, but remember, we're taking these shapes because they create a different effect in the body. Intensity is not necessarily beneficial. Well, a lot of times it is, but too much is too much. So even from here, from Uttanasana, grab a hold of the sides of your chair or the prop you're using and pull the chair apart. Like you're going to just try and drag that seat of that chair, drag those chair legs apart without bending your elbows. Stretch your chest out and push your hips back. So as you use the arms to pull apart that chair, your shoulder blades should try to retract into your back a little bit so your chest opens up. Because when we pull on the chair, we can either roll our shoulders up to our neck, which widens the shoulder blades towards our side and our neck, or we can pull the shoulder blades in and stretch the chest bone down. I'm asking you to do this because it's easy in forward fold, so let the chest bone collapse and then your upper back gets compressed. So here, pull the chair apart, pull the shoulder blades together. Now bend your elbows to lower yourself down. Legs are still straight. Pull the shoulder blades in, pull the shoulders away from your neck. And note when your head starts to go down faster than your chest bone, how much more difficult it is to breathe. Just for a moment, with your bending your elbows wide, pulling your shoulders back, bending your elbows to bend yourself down, let your head come down and try to take a breath. Okay, there's one. Exhale. Bring your head up, re-engage the arms, stretch your chest out so the chest bone comes down. And now lower yourself down by the bend of the elbow. Keep your head up. Take a breath. See the difference? Different, huh? It may not be a lot, but just even that decompression of the upper back, upper neck, as you move into this, takes your breath and puts it more into the upper lobes of your lungs. We should consistently try to breathe into the lung and the rib cage in our asana practice. Because if we breathe just diaphragmatically, abdominally, a lot of yoga poses put some compression on the abdominal area. It can make us sick. So tonight we're going to explore some different ways that the poses, standing or seated, work the upper lobes of the lung. And if you choose to, it will allow you to breathe deeper and train your body to, one, not fatigue as fast in your poses or in your daily life, and break the habit of slouch posture breathing, which I even now, I catch myself doing it all the time. I have to actually tell myself to breathe in and I feel those lungs stretch. Good. Straighten your arms. Step your right foot up under the seat of the chair. Step your left foot back 3.5 to 4 feet. Farther back. Your left toes are still pointed forward more or less. They're not turned out to the side. So those of you that did that, didn't ask for that. Right leg straight, left leg straight. So even here, create the same action. Arms straight, pull the chair apart, pull the shoulders down and away from your neck. Pull your shoulder blades together like you're going to pinch the things tight. So your chest bone, the upper lobes of the chest, must open. Straight legs. Activate your legs to push your hips back, like you're trying to widen each buttock. So the left thigh rolls forward a little, the right thigh pulls back. And then bend your elbows to lower yourself down into this modified chest to knee. The elbows bend wide. Arms are very active, pulling on that chair. You do not just kind of bend the elbows and slouch into this. This is you're grabbing the sides of the chair legs, and you're actively pulling apart. So you do not engage over-engage the abdominals or the neck to pull you down. The arms are deeply active in this. So your chest, as you stretch your chest out and pinch your blades together, your chest bone comes down faster. And you may not go very far. This is very intense on the legs, but this really asks you to only move the back by the movement of your pelvis. If you had stuck around Tuesday, I think it was, someone asked, I think it was Micah, like a rotational thing about the pelvis. He asked a question about a pose, and I had to remind Line, the spine will go the direction the pelvis points. If you move the spine the direction the pelvis is not guiding us to, you will compress and cause pain and a lot of problems. So here, when you bend the elbows and your chest bone comes down, notice your pelvis kind of goes with it. Your hamstring gets very aware very quickly, because now your low back and your chest aren't pulling you down. You're not having to grip those to stabilize you. Huh, Trish? She says. Okay. Straighten the leg or chest, straighten the arms, step your feet together for a moment, take a breath. Step your left foot up and your right foot back on an exhale. Left foot forward first, up under the chair, please. Foot up. Both legs straight, straight as you can. That's why we're starting very high with the chair. We don't want this to be about, can you do this with your hands on the ground or anything like that. I'm not worried about that. This is really just about, can you make a standing pose, be active in the upper body in a sense other than I'm just gripping and flexing and pushing myself into the shape. Can I actually guide myself to openness? And you can always tell from the breath. So grab the edge of the chair or the sides of the chair, pull the chair apart with the arms straight, bring the shoulder blades together. Work your legs. So actively push the left hip back from the femur bone, moving the bone back, and the right hip thigh rolling forward a little. And then when you're ready, be aware of how your head and shoulders want to go down first. Pull the chair apart, bend your elbows to lower yourself down. So your chest bone, that space right between the pec muscles below the collarbones, descends. And then take some breaths into it. You've got this whole flexion open chest. If you don't breathe deep into that, it's like building a 6-lane interstate and then slapping a 45-mile-an-hour speed limit on it. You're not making full use of what you got. How do you give yourself what you need unless you use what you got? The more you want to bend your elbows, the deeper down you're going to go, but the more you have to work your shoulder blades. What's hard for you? A few more moments, take a few deep breaths. Let yourself stretch into the pose any degree. If you feel a stretch, you're there. Remember, this is about, can I engage my upper back while my lower legs are there? And see the difference in the extension of my spine and my breathing rather than like, oh, I'm feeding the intensity of the pose. Here's a line later. All right. Straighten your arms. Step your feet together. So take a moment, Uttanasana, hands holding the chair, both legs straight, bend the elbows wide, draw your chest bone down again so your hips roll. So you're stretching down into the pose, step down into Uttanasana. Chest nice and long, Chaya. Do not pull your head down, head out, chest out. It's a straight spine, Chaya. The elbows bending pulls your chest bone down. There you go, dear. Thighs pushing back. So even for those of us that are very mobile, this can be very challenging. You might be finding this is not as easy as, like, say, if you just reached your hands for the floor. But check your breathing. So for a moment, just so you get kind of a, what am I really doing to my body? Take a breath here. And then when you exhale, just try to go into what you consider your normal forward fold. Take your hands down to the floor or down the chair legs or put your head on the chair. Just for a second, kind of do what you do and see the difference. And then take a couple breaths into that. I'm not saying what you do is wrong. I'm just offering you different, right? And we're all here for something different. Every class is an opportunity to maybe learn another tool to help us. All right, bring your hands back on the chair. Enough of that. That was the difference for each of us. Pull the chair apart, straighten the arms. Step your right foot up under the seat of the chair. Step your left foot back 3.5 to 4 feet. Spin your left heel in so your left toes point out to the side. So your feet are now in an L stance instead of the normal toes pointing the same direction. Take your left hand to your hip. Rotate the ribs into triangle, Utthita Trikonasana. Left hip rolls back, ribs back, shoulder back. So just triangle, nothing fancy yet. So the chair will move if we pull on it here. Wham. Push down on the seat of the chair with the arm. So you're keeping the arm straight mostly to start. So you want to get what that pressure is. And you're going to need to still hold the side of it, push down on it, and then try and by pushing down, you're going to keep it in its same place. Pull on the chair a little bit like you were trying to drag the chair towards your foot. So your shoulder blade on your right side sucks into your back and you open those right ribs. There you go. So you push down and pull to open up that upper back. And then once you've opened your upper back like that, can you work your left thigh and hip better? Yes, because now your upper back and lower back are not protecting your shoulder neck. Your legs can move, your hips can move. So push down and pull to shoulder blade into your back and make the arm active in this. Don't just make this about like, well, I scrunched my shoulder in and then I think it worked. No. You should be trying to drag that chair through the mat. Now, step a little wider. Walk your left foot a little farther away from your right foot and do it. Both legs straight. Pull. Push down and pull. Roll the left hip, left ribs back. Can you shift your right hip towards your left hip more so the pelvis shifts so your spine can move the direction your hips are going to go? Your left arm. Stretch your left arm straight up. Make your left shoulder blade do the same thing the right is. Rotate the bicep towards your ear so the arm twists a little, and draw that left shoulder blade into your back the same way the right one is, so you work your neck evenly. Bring the left hand down. Step the feet together for a moment. Left foot forward, right foot back. Spin your right heel in so the toes point out to the side so we can move to Utthita Trikonasana. Left hand on the chair, right hand on the hip to start. Straighten your legs, push down with the left hand, pull on that chair so you pull that shoulder blade into your back. You're sticking your bottom ribs forward. Pull your front ribs back. Your bottom ribs back. There you go. That'll feel better. Now pull your shoulder blade up. Better. Take a few breaths, just even letting it stretch it a little or a lot, and then step your right foot farther away. Open up the hip a little more. Push down on the chair with the hands, pull, take those deep breaths to the upper lungs. And it's not about pushing your low and mid back forward to make your back work. Pull your front ribs back, twist your core so your navel pulls towards your spine and then twist to the right. So you get that full rotation of the core body in the pose. It's triangle. It's not a hard, it's a pose that has a lot of complexity into it if we pay attention because we are complex beings. So even if you've done it 1,000 times, maybe 1,001 is the one where you get what you want. Take your right arm straight up. Make your right shoulder blade do what it did earlier, away from the neck and into your back so you can get that full chest opening. Take those deep breaths all the way to the top of the lungs. Bring the right hand down, step the feet together. Step your right foot forward up under the chair. Step your left foot back 3.5 to 4 feet. Spin your left heel in so your left toes point out to your left. Bend your right knee now. So the right knee is above the heel. Pull the chair apart. Your elbows bending, chest coming down. Take your right elbow to the seat of the chair. Take your left hand and grab the top bar or seat or part. Just grab something a little higher. So most of us have done this. So make it now about the upper body doing the work. Push your right arm down into the chair. And you can even use your hand holding onto the lip of the chair, pull on it a little bit. So your right ribs have to engage into the pose. And then pull up with your left hand. And it's not about the twist, but can you stretch your chest bone open and take that deeper breath? And then once your upper body is stable, work your legs more. Work your hips more. One of the things I've learned is that when you're doing a lot of asana work, it's easy to create tension in the body by not taking deeper breaths. That when you slow your breath down, I know this is something that's been taught forever, but I have a better understanding of why and how powerful it is. Slowing down your breath and really paying attention, stabilizing your breath in the pose, and then experiment with it. Bend your right knee deeper, suck your right hip, try flexing your buttocks again. Remember, I can give you the pose, you have to use the pose to give yourself what you want. How it is. Hold the pose for a couple more seconds, taking your breath. Straighten your right leg, but keep your rest of your body in the pose. So you're in a very open lateral triangle. So your pelvis was aimed in a direction and your spine went with it. Take a breath. Bring your left hand down, right hand down, straighten the legs, feet together. Uttanasana. Step your left foot up under the chair, step your right foot back. Spin your right heel in so your toes point out to the side. So get into the pose, similar action. Bend the knee, grab the chair, pull the chair apart as you come down. Don't just drop your ribs into it. So actively grab the edges of the chair, pull it apart, draw your chest down so your pelvis moves, right? We're moving the pelvis to move the spine using the upper body. Left elbow comes to the chair, right arm goes over the top. Whatever form of it you can do. Take some breaths. And then push down with the left arm and the left hand and pull like you're trying to drag that chair to you a little bit to make that left shoulder blade work. And then pull up with the right hand to rotate, to pull the right shoulder blade in and rotate your ribs. And I can say put more pressure through your outer right heel or all of that stuff. But you know so much of what I've said. Some of you have been my students for a while. Some of you have had other teachers. Experiment now. Take those deep breaths, get your breath really in the pose, and then make your pose do something different. Poses are a purposeful stressor. They put stress and tension on the body. Just as when we are stressed and tense in real life with situations, we take deeper breaths to calm ourselves and to go through it. And then we feel like we can handle it better or differently each time. Poses are the same way. If you treat every yoga pose as it's, attacking you or you're having to fight it every moment, what are you on your mat for? Why are you fighting yourself? So take a deeper breath and then try to flex your glutes better. Roll your hip open. Rotate your ribs. And then when you're ready, in the next couple of breaths, straighten your left leg. But try to keep the rest of it. Keep what you've created and experiment with what it is to create in one pose and move to another. That's a lot of vinyasa, which is common throughout all of the physical yoga traditions. It's just been marketed as a very form unto itself here in the States. Take a few more breaths. Take the hands down, feet together, Uttanasana, please. Back where you started. When you're ready, step your right foot up under the chair, step your left foot back 3.5 to 4 feet. Right foot forward, left foot back here. Spin your left heel in so your toes point out to the side. Bend your elbows wide, drawing your chest down, bending your right knee. Take your left elbow to the chair, take your right hand and grab the top bar. So revolve. Revolved poses always challenge the lungs. Oh, don't take your arm up yet. Keep holding on to the top of the chair, Uma. Yep, you're correct, Ryan. Just get your right hand up and grab your seat. There you go. So your elbow is down low, your right arm is up high, but you're still holding on to both things. Twists challenge our breathing. It's a different kind of stressor on the lungs, so make them strong. Take a deeper breath. Already with that right arm where it is, you know you're going to twist. But as you start to get your arms engaged, pull up with the right hand, push down with the left hand, pull the shoulder blades into the back a little bit. Strong legs, even with your knee bent, and then rotate the torso. Can you take a deep breath? And as you exhale, and only as you exhale, move the abdomen, middle, and upper ribs around. And then when you feel like you've twisted a bit and you feel a little bit of stress in breathing, not a lot, just like you have to breathe a little harder to you feel the lungs stretch, you feel the ribs press on them. Start taking deeper breath right there. Do not rush it. Do not, just take your normal breath, just a little deeper with a little more action. All right, we had a Saharan dust cloud sit on us in Texas for felt like ever. Lungs need to get cleared out. Pull the right elbow up more. Rotate the core, rotate the torso, strong legs, strong upper body. You know where it is now. Keep your upper body in that. And now straighten your right leg as best you can. So from revolved side angle to revolved triangle. And it doesn't have to be deep, but it needs to be focused and thoughtful. And is your breathing different? Are you opening up everything? Deep breath in, slow breath out. All right, untwist. Switch legs. Left foot forward, right foot back. Grab the chair, pull the elbows. So you're opening up the chest, you're working the shoulder blades all the way down into the pose. I've talked about this in prior classes, like how we get into the poses. More is just as important as the quote unquote end of pose. So bend the elbows, chest open, shoulder blades down. Take your right elbow to the chair, take your left arm over. Left knee bent. Push down with the right arm, pull a little bit to move that shoulder blade into your back. Pull up with the left arm to help twist. Left elbow goes up. Very nice, Lena. Good pose. Nice, Pratima. And then before you twist your head, twist your core first. Twist your ribs first. Use those arms to help draw your lungs into the rotation and breathe deeply into your lungs and rib cage, challenging them to stretch a little bit. I'm emphasizing those today also for the fact that it makes a good, I think it makes a fair, easy point to feel that yoga is changing a lot of internal stuff that you might not notice. But when, if you engage into it a little bit, you get a lot out of it. Take a few more seconds, breathe deep into that twist, the challenge on the lungs. When you're ready, straighten your left leg. So you get this nice rotated upper torso, long legs. And even if it's challenging, fine, right? We're here for challenge. We're here for something different. Few deep breaths. And your leg may not be perfectly straight. That's okay. Take those deeper, slower breaths to the lung rib cage, stretch the lungs, breathe very high to that open chest bone. You know what it was like for it to feel collapsed and it was harder to breathe. Teach yourself to be practiced and opened. At least I can offer that. That may not be what you want, but it's there. All right, untwist. Good. All right. Slide your chair a little bit further towards the end of your mat if you need to, but lay on your stomach if you can, with your chair near your head, a little farther away from your head. We're gonna do some backward bending. Classic stuff. Sometimes the classics work the best. So backward bends challenge our breathing in a few different ways. The back ribs press into them. The front ribs press into them if we're tight. So from here, laying on your stomach with the chair in front of you, you're going to put both hands up on the seat of the chair. If you can't get both hands to the seat of the chair, you climb both hands up the chair legs. Either way works for me. But I would like your arms to be straight, whatever height that means, and your head to be down. So lower your head, Barb. Oh, there we go. You were frozen. There. Thank you. So whatever you've got a hold of, whether you're pushing your palms flat into the seat of the chair or you're grabbing a hold of the chair leg, pull down so the arms activate a little bit and your shoulder blades can draw towards your back a little bit, towards each other. You want to squeeze them in on this one. So you really open up that space from your chest to your armpit. And breathe. If your head does not lay on the floor comfortably, it's okay to put a block or blanket under it to give some support. But breathe here, and can you let your breath in the lungs, not just your belly, move you a little bit? So each inhale, exhale, you might feel a little bit of lift and you might feel a little bit of descent. Or you might feel the spread on the front of the ribs near your collarbones. So now that you've got your breathing, you know, you're connected to it, then you challenge it. Pick your head up. Pick your chest up a little bit by pulling down on the chair with your hands or your whatever you're holding on with. And start that lift. And then breathe. I'm not going to give you much more complex than that. Because it's already challenging to breathe deeply when you're flexing and working, but it's important. Yes, dear. Yeah, of course. Because people, when they grip the sides of the chair, have to pull down. Push down. So you push or pull down on the chair, whichever one works for you in your hand position. Lift your chest up, and then take a deep breath so you feel your lungs lift up. And when you exhale, let your chest come down, but not your shoulders, because when we exhale, it's easy to let our shoulders come down. Push down through the hands, take that deep breath, feel the lift of your body, and then as you keep your shoulders up, draw your shoulder blades together, and your chest may descend. You may feel yourself drop, but you're still working the arms to try and kind of teach those muscles to stay broad and open. That's a big part of backward bends, actually, is building not just the endurance for the intensity, building the habit of breathing deeply in them. So at no point do you feel like you can't breathe in backward bends, or at any point. It changes how your whole nervous system reacts to these things. Go ahead, lower your head down. Bring your arms down and rest for a moment. All right, hands back up on the chair. Oh, we got lots of time, don't worry. Think, oh my God, how much more do we have to put up with this? You can leave at any point. I don't want you to. But your internet can magically go out. Push down on the chair. Take that nice breath. Get your breath before you push the action. Don't put yourself in a bad situation, then ask yourself to breathe in it. Breathe comfortably and move into it. Be nice to yourself. You teach someone else this, you teach someone else how to do something, you try to make it learnable and comfortable, hopefully. So press your palms down, lift your chest up as you exhale. Try to keep that same level of breath. So the breath is like a wave. It comes in and your body lifts a little bit and it goes down. Bend your right knee, pull your heel towards your glute. Try and touch your right, with no hands, just your strength of your leg, pull your right heel towards your right buttock as hard as you can. And feel the difference that makes all the way up into your lungs and ribs, how your right side wants to collapse. Let it stay lifted. Pick your right knee up off the floor an inch. Right knee up off the floor. There you go. Chest up, foot up, leg up. Bring your right leg down. Bend your left knee. Pull your left heel towards your buttock. Chest up, feel the difference in your lungs. Still take that breath into it. You know where your breathing is. You know what it should be. Guide that. The muscles will do all that. They'll cramp, they'll stretch, they'll flex. The poses are great for that. The poses will get you there. You don't have to force that. Remember, asana leads you to pranayama. Pranayama leads you to meditation. So you start learning how to breathe in these things. So when you're sitting there doing Nadi Shodhana, you can do it easily. Pick your left knee up off the floor while still bending the knee deeply. All right, legs down, arms down, rest for a moment. All right, last time, hands up. Press the hands into the chair when you're ready. After you've exhaled a couple of times, don't force the action and then try to play catch up. Move into it with intent. Focus, clarity. Push your hands down into the chair, chest up. All right, bend your right knee, pull your right heel towards your buttock. If you can, grab your right foot with your right hand without your chest falling. And then make your leg strong and push your leg against your hand so your chest pulls open a little more and breathe into that. Can you draw your shoulder down away from your neck a little bit so your chest opens? There you go. And just even holding this, using the left arm to help lift, and do those deep breaths. So the breath is a massage action for diaphragm, abdominis, lung. There's a lot of poses Mr. Iyengar talked about just in his time in his books about how they massage the organs, they tone this, they clear out that. That's a lot of this work, is deeper breathing in these things. Not enough to make yourself sick, right? You're not sitting there rolling your stomach, but when you take a breath into your lungs, it moves everything. Right hand back on the chair. Bend your left knee, chest up still. Take your left hand back. Push the leg against the hand. Even if you can't grab it, it's okay just to do the chest up version. This is a different step. So if you can't grab the foot, just feel free to keep your chest up and breathe into it. Right. Push the foot against the hand, pull the shoulder blade into your back like you've been practicing the whole time. So that arm's strong, right? That elbow might bend a little bit. There you go. Those elbows bend just a little so you can pull those shoulder blades in, the chest bone opens. All right, hands on the chair. Take a breath, let your body come down. And just rest for a moment. And in the moments when you rest on your yoga mat, it's when I find the things that want to distract you off of it really start to get a little loud. You think, oh, I could go do this or I could go do that. I could handle it real quick and then get back on it. Try not to. Remember, you're here to give yourself, using these things, something you need or want. Walking away from it right now, at the least I say would be rude to yourself. All right, bring your bodies up. If you have tight feet or knees, you will probably need a block or two or some height to the hip, bolsters, blankets. So have a couple things nearby. So I'm going to teach Tristan this. So I'm going to give you about 10, 15, 20 seconds to get your props nearby. And I'll teach Tristan the twist, and then I'll have all of you do it. So get your stuff. You need a block. You need anything but a block. You're going to turn face. So if you watch Tristan for a moment, she's going to continue to model here. Very kind of her. So, oh, the name of the twist escapes me. I'll remember here in a minute. This is a very nice twist to tilt the pelvis and aim the spine and then rotate it. Nice for opening up the lungs, ribs, especially the abdominis area. Really kind of started to enjoy this pose again a lot more. So if you look at Tristan's feet here, they start flat and they'll stay flat. She's going to take her left foot, take the toes across her right Achilles tendon, like that. It is not the toes across the arch or toes across toes. It's the toes of her left foot over her right. And so the foot kind of is at that weird angle. Her right foot over her left. I don't know anymore. All right. So once that's happened, when you sit down, you do not put your butt on both heels. The hip of the leg that is moved over, so for her, it's her right leg has moved to her left. Her right hip sits on the floor, and her left hip sits on her right heel, so her pelvis will be at a tilt, as you can see. So for her foot's too tight, it won't allow that. So she needs to put her left hip on a block, or both hips on a block, like that. Bardvajasana, man, this is just a variation of Bardvajasana that I totally forgot about. So I'm going to have her do it one more time just so you can see so in case you're confused, don't worry. You start with both feet flat. You cross one set of toes over the opposite leg's Achilles tendon, and you sit your hips back down onto the floor or onto whatever height of prop you need to do this. So I'll show you for a second what it looks like fully. Toes over. Back. Take that. All right. So now once you're there, you're going to twist. So if your right leg is crossed over the left, you twist to the right. Your left hand goes to your right knee. Your right hand goes just behind you and you twist to your right as best you can. So when you're twisting, try not to lean back. Your right hand pushes down to lift your spine tall. Your left arm pulls and rotates your core and ribs. So once you're twisted, take a couple breaths. Shoulder blades come down and into the back. And then breathe deeper to the lobes of the lungs and pull the core and ribs around as best you can. So you get this length to the right side of the body and openness of the hip. Great for relieving low back pain, tight muscles from your ribs to your hip, because if you lean to one side watching TV or sitting in your car, no, this isn't at your desk, right? This will help you really kind of lengthen and open that up. So use that action. Lift with that right side rib cage. So it's like you're broadening the right chest muscle and stretch those lungs into that new space. Breathe into it. All right, untwist. Come forward onto your hands and knees. You're going to have to switch the feet. So that was Tristan's right foot over her left arch or Achilles tendon. Now she's going to do her left toes over her right Achilles tendon. She's going to bring the hips back and down and to her left slightly. There you go, better, Tristan. And then right hand goes to the knee for Tristan, left hand goes back behind her, and you twist. Work your chest up, work the core muscles around. Doesn't have to be an intense twist. For a lot of us, this will work your feet a lot, work your knees, hips, changes the whole lateral action of your spine. It's a lateral twist. It's a very nice one. Would recommend more. Remember, Uma, it's not ankle over back foot. It's only your toes over your back Achilles. So some of you are like dropping your whole foot over. No, it's just your toes kind of go over the Achilles tendon. That's because your hip needs to be on the other heel to create the tilt pelvis so that your body can rotate. And while it doesn't compress one side, it elongates the other. Right. Nice foot stretch. Take some deep breaths into that. Let those shoulder blades come down, blades come in so the chest bones broaden. The chest muscles widen and lift them. So as you take nice deep breaths in, don't just breathe diaphragmatically, breathe through those upper lungs, stretch them out. Clean that dust cloud out. Couple more breaths, and then exhale. And then lay on your back. Lay down. Chill out. You made it. If you would like to use your legs up on your chair or legs up a wall for a modified waterfall pose, do so now. So legs up wall, legs on chair. Do something for you. If you're thinking about running off, oh, I'm going to stop right now. Why, you can't go 4 more minutes, 5 more minutes? This is the hard thing? No. It's about giving yourself the full game. I came to understand that I did not like doing restorative for the first few years of my practice because I didn't like being nice to myself. Whatever it is for you, your own journey. But regardless, let your eyes close. I've got the bell. I'll ring it when it's time to come up. For a few moments, check in with yourself. And did you at least affirm that you were giving yourself what you needed from this class? Did you affirm to yourself or check in with as you did the poses? Or did you just let it happen to you? A lot of things just happen to us in our lives. We have no control. The world is like that. It is chaotic. It's unpredictable. It's uncontrollable. So for a little bit, for 1 hour, you came into a practice that wasn't just about how do I stretch my hamstrings, but it is there. That's all you want. How do I learn to meditate? It's there. It's not all of it. But if that's all you want, you got it. But did you say for 1 hour, this is the thing I'm going to control and I'm going to work on? Am I going to not wait for everything else to come to me or hope that the things that I want to happen will, but I'm going to make it happen? I will be an advocate for myself. I will be an activist for myself. We will not sit passively and just say kind words, but we will step into that role from ally to activist for ourselves, just even for the hour in the next few minutes. So my friends, see what you received. And if you didn't, if you recognize you checked out, check back in. You're never fully out. If you're breathing, you can always come back in. And rest for a few minutes until I ring the bell and enjoy the fruits of your yogic practice. Slowly increase the depths of your breathing. Begin to awaken the body, opening, closing the hands, pointing, flexing the feet. Draw your knees to the body, roll to the side, and slowly up you come. Namaste, everybody. If you have any questions, we can spend a few moments.